Has anyone heard of Malcolm Gladwell before? He's kind of a famous writer, pop culture type, theorist type guy. So this is, all of his books kind of look like this. They're like white with a little something in the middle of the page. So if you've seen one of those lying around, that's him. He has a book called Outliers that was a bestseller. He has books called like David and Goliath. He has one called Blink. He's kind of a famous like popular thinker. And he has a podcast called Revisionist History. The whole point of the podcast is to try to uncover things from history that people have either misconstrued or just never paid much attention to. And he'll focus on one thing and do like a series about that one aspect of history. So we're going to listen to a whole podcast. It's 35 minutes or so. And while you listen to the podcast, you're going to do these visual notes. So I'll show you kind of what they look like. Basically, instead of taking formal notes where you're just writing everything down, you are kind of doing informal notes that incorporates doodling. The reason that I'm having you do this is because maybe you haven't done this before, so it's a new way of taking notes, and maybe it will kind of work for you. But also, a lot of times when we listen to podcasts in class, people will get very distracted because it's sort of like, your mind wanders and then you want to look at your phone or whatever because there isn't somebody in front of you guiding you. So it's a way for you to focus your attention on what you're actually listening to. Let me show you examples. Like here's an example where you incorporate words and images into it, and it doesn't have to be extremely organized. Here's one that's even less organized. It doesn't have to be super organized. You're just putting things where they kind of make sense to you. And that's why I really like this one. She has drawn connections between certain ideas, where, this idea leads to this idea. And then ultimately she's like, this is America. And then she crosses out this word capitalization. So she's really visually imagined relationships in that one. This one, he was more interested in the words, but it's kind of like an explosion of words, and to make some words stand out, he's made some words, bubble letters or different colors. And then this person was mostly visual. So they really committed to like representing this idea in the doodles. So there's lots of different ways to do it. There's no like right answer on how to do this thing. It's just like, it's kind of like a creative expression of note-taking, kind of an idea. So you're going to do that while you listen to the whole podcast. I want to see everyone's pens or pencils or whatever you're using moving while you're listening to the podcast. So filling in all these ideas. I've got colorful. Oh, yes. The podcast is 35 minutes. All right, so I've got different colors of paper, and I've got art supplies. It could be great to make it colorful. Just grab, as you come over, just grab a bag, and if your bag looks pretty skimpy, my art supplies are red. So if your bag looks pretty skimpy, grab 2 bags, and then you can share if there's colors that you want. Okay, so I'm just going to do this row by row to come grab your color paper that you want and grab a bag of supplies. Let's go with Jenna's row first. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to.